family of faith. Thank you for joining us. Today we have Dr. Carl McCurdy with us. As the world seems to be changing every minute, we wanted to give an update on COVID. Dr. McCurdy will be discussing vaccines, current conditions in Pickens County, and some other fun, interesting facts. So Dr. McCurdy, take it away.
Thank you, Anna. Well, it's good to be here again. You know, one thing about doing these videos is people can always go back to the last one I did and catch me if I say something different now than I said then. Fortunately, I've been trying to stay up, and I think that my talks are going to be consistent among the videos. So first of all, current conditions. We don't want to get COVID fatigue. It seems like we're just tired of this. I know I am. Everybody's tired of it. We're getting a little bit more used to in the medical field dealing with the low-grade infections and handling them. We're seeing a lot of positive tests in the office and helping people through it. We kind of know who's going to do well and who's probably going to do bad, and then we get surprised sometimes, but not surprised when older patients do very poorly. We are still in a surge. We're probably still in the Christmas surge with community spread, and we have just had a really hard couple of weeks in the hospital. The hospital is only a licensed 50-bed hospital. We've had more patients than that in the hospital. At one point, I counted, and there were 40-something positive COVID patients in the hospital, and we had something like 13 people on a ventilator at the same time. So this week might be very slightly decreased from that, but it's really too soon to tell. And there's also a possibility that the New Year's Day surge and the Christmas surge didn't come together, that we may still be waiting for the New Year's Day surge. And unfortunately, deaths come a couple of weeks after the peak in cases. So we are having a lot of very sad situations and a lot of bereaved families. Other organizations have seen the surge. The schools, as you know, have been going virtual and won't be going back to in-person. They're going to try in-person next week, I understand. The Rotary Club, for example, has done a couple of weeks of virtual, and will try again in person after the 1st of February. So we have other organizations that are recognizing what the surge has been looking like that too. Here's one good note of cheer that I can tell you today. There have been very, very few influenza cases. Our flu season this year has been stopped cold, and you might remember that I said that in the very first video we did last year. I told you that the masks were going to really stop the flu spread, and flu is droplet spread, and the masks are gangbusters against droplet spread. COVID, like measles, is aerosol spread, so the masks are about 60% effective in stopping COVID spread. So if you've got 60% and I've got 60%, then you multiply that. Then together, if we're both masked, then that's a greater protection. But fortunately, we have not seen that double whammy of a flu epidemic along with the COVID epidemic. I wanted to talk about the vaccine too, because that's the big news right now. And again, I go back to the very first video I did, and I said, we are not going to get out of this until we get a vaccine, until we get an effective vaccine. We have an effective vaccine, and it's being distributed. We've given, in Georgia right now, as of today, we've given over 500,000 doses of the vaccine. Of course, we've got a long way to go, but the vaccine is 2 doses and is 95+% effective against preventing COVID infection. We don't know how long that immunity will last from the vaccine, so that is a moving target. but getting the vaccine is kind of a no-brainer. I've got two phone numbers. Probably the biggest part of the distribution of the vaccine is going through the state health departments, the county health departments. And then the large hospitals also are setting up freestanding vaccine immunization centers. And the number for the health department is 1-888-881-1474. And the number for the Piedmont hotline is 470-271-6970. If you call and they don't answer, that means they don't have vaccine and they don't have appointments. I would call a couple of times a day, and when they get vaccine shipments that they know are coming in and when they have appointments that are open, they will be answering the phone for you. There's also a website for the health department, www.nghd.org. Now, there's some other places to get the vaccine. I understand that, we know that Good Sam has been administering some vaccine in relatively small numbers. And some of the drugstores also are taking names and taking lists and are going to get some vaccines. You get your vaccine at your earliest opportunity, whichever one they have, Moderna or Pfizer. Just get it. They are equally effective. Let's just say that in Pickens County, with a population of 30,000, we got 10,000 people that really, really need the vaccine. If we can only give 100 doses a day, that's going to take 100 days to get 10,000 people vaccinated. So we need to give several hundred doses a day for our population so that we can quickly get as many people as possible vaccinated. We're going to need, the authorities say we're going to need about 70% of people to be vaccinated to make a real dent in this epidemic. So I did want to talk about the vaccine, how the vaccine works. I'm going to try to make the science as simple as possible, and you can tell me later if I succeeded.
Okay, I didn't do well in science in college, so this will be the ultimate test.
Good. It'll be a good test. So this is the first vaccine that's been on the market called a messenger RNA vaccine. Messenger RNA. So what happens is you get the shot, and the messenger RNA is a code or a template